Hello Factorio people, welcome back to the broadcast from Space Age. Happy New Year! It is the 1st of January for you, 2025. For me it is it's 20 to 8 on New Year's Eve, Tuesday the 31st. How's 2025? Is it good? Yeah, good for you. I hope you had fun. I obviously am at home doing this. And I wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest with you. I'm of that age now. Just got to stay in, go to bed, you know. I'm of that age now where being in bed is a treat, as opposed to being young when it was a punishment. Anyway, if you want to do the old like, comment, subscribe for me, that would be great. We're going to try and go to Vulcanus today. So let's jump straight into it, shall we? We're just waiting on things to be delivered to the ship so that we can get the heck out of here. I ended up not liking the design for this ship, like quite severely. Two of each crusher is overkill in the early game. This ratio doesn't work, the ratio of making iron plates, you know, this doesn't make any sense. And I also realised that I wanted a circuit condition to control how much fuel we were putting in the thruster. And I think controlling your speed is something that is overlooked in the early game by a lot of people. It is very, very important. If you're going, the slower you're going, the less ammo you need. The slower you're travelling, by definition, the fewer asteroids spawn and come towards your ship, so therefore you need to make less ammo in. You need to make the same amount of ammo, but over a longer period of time. So I did some redesigns on the ship. We're just waiting on rocket launchers, basically, but the base is ticking over quite nicely. So let's fast forward ever so slightly and look at the new ship design. Alright, looks like this now. Not too much different. There's still two ice crushers, just for symmetry reasons. I squeezed some extra arms in. Added a tank. Were there tanks here before? I can't remember. But yeah, so this is now... These pumps are now attached to the hub to read the speed. And these pumps will only insert fuel into the thrusters when the speed is below 50. So this lets you launch quite fast. And then slow down once you start getting into the area of space where the asteroids can get you, and then it just sort of keeps you at not a constant speed, but you'll see. I also added a few extra things to the mall. This is of course all reflected in the blueprint book, which is available for you in the description below. Things like thrusters went on there, solar panels, accumulators, you know. So this is it. We're going to leave Now Vis. It's important to make sure that you leave Now Vis in a state... Wait, what is going on here? Oh, that's right. I'm bringing everything back down from the ship. It's important to leave Now Vis in a state that you can remotely fix it. And all that really means is just making sure that you've got roboports being made somewhere that your existing roboport network can put them down, which of course we have. Because at some point on my voyage I realised that the oil is actually running low. But that's a very easy fix. If you've got roboports in your logistics mall, you just spread your logistics. You just spread the range like this. And you do something like, I don't know, let's just put some speed modules in these. That should sort it, probably. Make sure that you get them all. Good. And the robots will do that. And we didn't have to be on the planet. So, I've put my stuff away, because you can't go into space with stuff, and that includes blueprints, but it doesn't include a blueprint book. As long as the blueprint book is in your blueprint library and not in on your person, it's fine. Which is also what this utilities thing is for. I found before that I was having things like this in my inventory instead, and then I was not able to board a spaceship with them, which seems silly. But anyway, let's go to the Vulcanus shuttle and see if we can't make our way successfully. I added a few extra turrets at the bottom, just to be sure. Just researching physical projectile damage 7, just because we only need bullets to get to Vulcanus. Here I come. I think. Was that me? I thought that was me. There we go. That's the noise. Alright. I have a mod that removes the map when you're in space, so that you've got a bit more room for the GUI here on the right hand side, and obviously the GUI is on large mode for YouTube convenience anyway. I also added a mod for my playtime up here, just so that you could see. I'm very slow. I'm a very slow player. We know this to be true. But I wanted to make, I wanted you to see. Exactly. Mostly I just want to make sure, I don't want other people to feel pressure to be playing the game extremely fast, because I'm not playing the game extremely fast. Play as fast or slow as you like, or as you can. Alright, well, we're off to Vulcanus then. If you do circuit condition and you just leave it blank, it will never ever leave the station. Alright, so we're off. So as you can see, the thrusters are full of fuel to start with. So your speed does go up quite high to begin with, but on the trip, the asteroids don't start spawning in huge amounts until you are a decent way through. Let me open Factorio. Whoops, not that one. Let me open Factoriopedia somewhere over here on the side, and you can see the turrets in action while we do this. So especially on the way to Vulcanus, the medium asteroids don't start until you're 1,500 kilometers away from Nauvis, and even then they barely are there at all. So our speed is dropping now. As our speed hits 0, the fuel injectors inject a little bit more. If we were going full tilt, these asteroids would just be spawning too fast. Or we would be travelling into them too fast, I guess is technically the way you need to think about it. There's a bit of waste here, like obviously any asteroids that are coming here on the very far right or left hand side that are never going to hit the ship are going to get shot at, but people are launching fireworks, for God's sake. Let me close my curtains like that gif, you've seen the one. You know the one I'm talking about. Bloody New Year's, what a non-event. Let's have a quick look and see what this does in terms of production and consumption. So we consume a lot more ammo than we produce, which is why we have the buffer on the belt. You may be wondering, and it's a good question, why I'm not using the space platform hub as a large chest. And mostly I just don't like to do that. I find it to be clunky, and it often doesn't work in the way you want it to. It gets full of one thing and then can't do something else. It's a large failure point doing that, in my opinion. Obviously it's not too bad on a stationary space platform, because that's kind of the point of the stationary space platforms, is to use them to send stuff down to the planet. But on a moving space platform I don't really like to do it. You can connect inserters to the hub in the same way that you can read the speed. You can read the content. So you could, I suppose I could put an underground here and then have two inserters here, one that stores ammo and one that deposits ammo when the belt is emptier, I guess. But as you can see, we've made it here very easily, very quickly. Used about what's that, maybe somewhere between a third and a half of the contents of the belt of ammo. So let's drop to Vulcanus. The only thing I'm bringing with me are 50 construction robots. We're going to do it from scratch, for fun. For fun. Mostly just to prove that it can be done. Not that anyone doesn't believe it can't be done, of course. So let's just drop these construction robots down. And we'll get started. So on Vulcanus, on any new planet, you have a bunch of trigger technologies. You need to do certain things to get other certain things going. You're not expected to do any research for a little while. Got pretty unlucky with this map seed, in my opinion. The tungsten is in an absolutely god-awful place. I just wanted to show you that was possible. So with 50, you can bring your personal armor, of course you can, and as long as you just bring some robots with you. I just brought 50 because the rocket capacity is 50. I just wanted to launch one rocket's worth. We can start, you know, doing basic stuff like finding carbon and tungsten carbide and getting these trigger technologies sorted out. The trees set your robots on fire. I've never had that get to the point where your robots actually... Let me just put this there for now for simplicity. You wouldn't want to do this by hand. I mean, you could. Projectile damage 7 is done. 7 is not an important milestone, but it's an interesting one, because I'll show you later. So let's just leave research off for a while. So the beginning rocks have stone, iron, ore, copper ore. You can get carbon from the burning trees. You can get coal from this it's very large patch, but it is still only 2.6 million, so it's not very dense. And I was saying that we got unlucky with our starter patch of tungsten in that it is... Let's turn the robots off. Robots are extremely inefficient at picking stuff up from the floor for whatever reason. But if they're already marked for deconstruction, you can just walk into it and it picks them up. Our starting tungsten patch is buried right in amongst all of this. Apologies if you can hear these fireworks, by the way. They are. I have not really maybe chosen the best time here to record this video. The starter tungsten patch is buried very deep within this absolute mess of lava, which we can't... There it is, down there, which we can't cross. You can't underground it either. Like, that should be obvious. Like, you can see the ghost of the underground there, but you can't underground under the lava, which does make sense. And there's one of our friends, a small demolisher. They are not hostile to you unless you, one, shoot them in the face. To be honest, the same would affect me as well. Or unless you build in their marked territory. So thankfully we do have some territory free to start in, but we'll deal with some demolishers later. So basically, with your robots, just start off by getting some stone and some iron ore and some copper ore and some... You can manually get the coal in the same way with a burner mining drill, and much in the same way as vanilla Factorio, getting power, electricity sorted should be the first thing to do. If you're not an absolute sadist and you want to bring stuff, Vulcanus does have 300% solar power. 400% solar power in atmosphere. So three times better. Solar power's 3 times better. 60 kilowatts on Nauvis, but 240 kilowatts on Vulcanus. And the day-night cycle is shorter. One absolute tune as well. Vulcanus. Day-night cycle, 1 minute and 30 seconds compared to Nalvi's 7 minutes. So yeah, if you want to be sensible, really, you could just bring a whole bunch of solar panels and accumulators with you. Solar panels stack to 50 in a rocket, so do accumulators. So it might behoove you to bring a bunch. But not me. Not me. We're going to do this the good old-fashioned way. Start from scratch. So let's get some power up and running, shall we? It's easy to forget that even though you're starting from scratch on a planet, you still do have all your research. So it's not too difficult really to just get, oh, you can't see, to just get some iron, some copper, some steel by hand, build some solar panels, use that for some basic kick-starting power. But your main source of power really, in an ideal world, should be turning sulfuric acid and calcite into an absurd amount of steam. 10,000 steam in 5 seconds. 2,000 steam a second. Maths fans. Which is enough to feed 67 boilers. 66 boilers fully, 67 boilers just about takes you over 2,000. So that is a very easy way to get quite a lot of power quite early on with nothing but some stone, some iron, one chemical plant, some pump jacks, and a couple of solar panels just to kick the whole thing off. You do need the calcite. You do get a decent amount of calcite. Do you? Is that true? I was going to say you get a decent amount of calcite from the rocks, but I don't actually think that is true. No, you don't. You can only get calcite by mining these from the ground, but that's okay. Once you've got a bit of power sorted, you could just get that done. So I'll just put some calcite in here just to show you. It looks like I've already done some already. If I've done some already, why was it complaining about having no power? Probably because it's not connected. Of course, we decided that we would play without cliffs on Nalvis, and now I've come to Vulcanus, and there's an absolute preponderance of cliffs. It's very, very annoying, but it is what it is. Okay. So we need to get tungsten carbide to unlock the foundry, and then once we unlock the foundry, everything's sorted. Tungsten carbide is very easy. Carbon, tungsten, or sulfuric acid, we can just do that ourselves. We'll just manually make an assembling machine, shall we? Bung it here. There we go. And this is my advice to you really with the trigger technologies, is that I think the first time I played it, I sort of was like, oh, the game wants me to make tungsten carbide, so I'll make tungsten carbide like on a bus or something. And then realised that unlocked some technologies that let me get tungsten carbide in a better or a more efficient way or a different way, or I needed to integrate it in a different way because it needed to do something else now. I think wherever you see these trigger technologies, if we start from scratch and see what we've already done, just speed run them. Just go and mine some calcite by hand from the ground. Yeah, mine a big volcanic rock, easy enough. Foundry is unlocked by doing tungsten carbide. You know, don't make a whole production chain for 10 assemblers worth of tungsten carbide, because it will quickly become apparent that that's not the way the game wants you to do it. So we can make some foundries, and again, let's just quickly make some foundries because we don't want to set up production line for steel, circuits, tungsten carbide, refined concrete, lubricant. What we really want to do is you just want to get a few foundries, because, most important of all, the foundry has a base productivity of 50%. So everything you can make in a foundry, all of these things, which is crazy when you look at it, naturally come with a 50% productivity bonus, which is absolutely huge for things like belts, iron plates, steel especially, you know. For every 2 steel plates you're going to get one for free, on top of the steel productivity bonus that you may or may not have already researched. The shuttle can stay in orbit. There's no real danger up here. It will continue to sit here and make more ammo than it spends, I believe. Yeah, consuming about 4 a minute over the last 10 minutes, 13 a minute producing. So it's just about making more. I could have... No, I was going to say I could have put speed modules in, but I think if everything is running, electricity is a bit tight. Around Nauvis especially, it's not so bad around Vulcanus because obviously we've got, what is this, 500% power output in orbit. So, oh my god, this rock! Oh no! It's fine. If I turn turret coverage on, you can see that the turrets do cover the entire ship, so it is fine. Okay, let's make some foundries. So this monstrosity will just jumpstart a little foundry production. The first one, make in an assembler, and then make the rest of the foundries in foundries, because then you will get the 50% productivity bonus. So you need steel, electronic circuits, some tungsten carbide, some refined concrete, some lubricant. You can get lubricant quite easily from the simple coal liquefaction recipe that you get on Vulcanus. As soon as you mine some calcite, hey, create the first foundry. So get rid of this. Give me the foundry. Plug the foundry in instead, and make more foundries. You need to make some concrete and then make some refined concrete, which is irritating because there's no water on Vulcanus, but you can condense the steam back down into water. So that's all well and good. And yeah, so one foundry, start with one foundry, and then you can make extra foundries for cheap and free. Not free, but you know. It's just this refined concrete and refined concrete loop is unfortunate, but it is... Oh god, we're missing loads of stuff. Tungsten carbide, please. Steel, electronic circuits, oh my god. How many circuits are we missing? 9! It's much like the early game on Nauvis, really. You just run backwards and forwards between a hand-fed area. So up here, you know, like you get so much iron ore and copper ore from clearing out spaces. Like if I do this somewhere, where have I not been? Over here it looks like. You know, just drag this over this, 138 ore, 96 copper, 120 stone. Just use this resource to get yourself kick-started, basically. Just rush the foundries, is my advice. Just do whatever you can to rush getting to the foundries. And then the foundries just give you 50% productivity bonus on top of everything, and don't have enough steel. So just do this for a bit, you know, do this, but do this better than how I'm doing it. Don't do it like me, because I'm an idiot, clearly, but... And again, if you were smart and not a sadist, you could bring electric furnaces with you, because we won't get advanced circuits here on Vulcanus for a little while, because getting plastic is as much of a pain as you can imagine. I'm just showing you that it is doable, and it's not too much of a headache, really. There we go. So there's one foundry, 50% productivity bonus. The next foundry will actually give us 2 foundries, and we can use this to sort of snowball and get a whole bunch of stuff. Alright, let me fast forward a bit and show you the power of the foundry. They're so good, they're too good, they're overpowered, even. You take your humble offshore pump, which you can just submerge into lava, which is brilliant. Pump the lava through a bog standard pipe, throw it into one of the foundries, and then just get some calcite. So I'm just mining calcite. I was mining calcite into a box with a mining drill, but you don't even need a huge amount of it. And that turns into molten iron or molten copper if you use the other recipe, and some stone. The stone you can repurpose for other things, but for now we'll just throw it into the lava. And then we have liquid iron, which we can use for things like this. So not only does a mere 20 molten iron turn into 2 iron plates, we get the natural 50% productivity bonus on that as well. So this is turning 125 lava a second into some amount of molten. 93.75 molten iron per second. And then one of the foundries making iron plates is only using 3.75 of that. So what's that, like a fifth? No. Plus... what? Oh, 25 molten iron a second. There we go. That makes more sense. Not 375. 25 molten iron a second. Yeah, not a fifth. Like just under a quarter, just over a quarter, to make 3.75 iron plates a second. Which, you know, you can see for yourself quite how crazy this is. But it gets better than that, because you can also craft iron gear wheels directly, and perhaps best of all, steel directly from the molten iron. You don't have to make that intermediate step of turning it into iron plates. So this has 60% productivity, as I said before, with the 10% bonus that we've already researched, and if we research more, it will be more, obviously. That's how numbers work. This is so much steel. This is ridiculous. And you can also make some logistics items. So for the first time ever, you can get productivity bonus on some of the logistics items, including transport belts. So you just put in iron plates and gear wheels into a foundry, and you get transport belts, and you get free transport belts. So let me whip up, or at least show you. I've got a little blueprint here that does this. Let me get rid of this and just put it down. Whoops, episode 8. Episode 8, please. Oh, iron chests. Fast inserters. Another iron chest, please. What are we missing? Loads of fast inserters, clearly, and loads of green circuits. This is embarrassing. So the blueprint does include the blueprint includes the. Why can I never remember when we're on episode 8? The blueprint includes a belt here to bring calcite in, but I'm just going to do calcite manually for now, just to show you. I did have a little factory here making green circuits. There's some, thank you. That's better. Are we done? Seem to be done. So this will make you red belts and red undergrounds quickly, cheaply, and productively. It's the word I wanted there. Molten iron. Some plates. Plates go into yellow undergrounds, yellow belts. Some gear wheels. Some more gear wheels. Gear wheels go into undergrounds. Gear wheels and the belts go into red belts. This will go faster than this, eventually. Just takes a little while for everything to permeate through and for things to get backed up. You don't necessarily have to do this if you really don't want to. You could just directly feed the yellow belts into this into the red belt machine. That will help get things accumulated faster. But I always like to just have a backlog of the yellow belts as well. But I mean, like, you can see that 30 undergrounds, 100 red belts in just this small amount of time is huge. It's huge. So I'll leave this running for a little bit and get a backlog of belts and undergrounds to start designing the base with. And then once we've got... because obviously this is, you know, 8 foundries. I've only got 1 spare and another one here doing stuff. This is how the rest of the system ended up going. I was manually feeding this with coal to get more carbon because I was running out of carbon for this process, tungsten carbide process. And also... refined concrete was fine. So you can see it's not too bad once you get everything you need in one place. It's not too bad to just hand feed this to make foundries, to get a dozen or so foundries, and then from there you can just expand. I do think that it's better to build belts on the planet because they have a rocket capacity of 100 and the undergrounds only have 50. So to bring a whole bunch of belts with you, when knowing that you'll need to make more anyway, is, you know, it's a fool's game. I don't want to spend 500 processing units, 500 rocket fuel, and 500 low density structures to get this done when I could just be getting this done. I mean, look at the yellow belts, for crying out loud. That's outrageous. Let's do everything with the yellow belts if you really wanted to, if it bothered you that much. Okay, what's next? Alright, the next thing to do is to actually clear some space and fight some of the demolishers. So to that end I've repurposed some of the foundries to make some ammo. Piercing ammo, to be more precise. You can also use this stuff to make some turrets. After about... what's this? So I've got 1500 fast transport belts, 200 undergrounds. This should get us going. I want to show you something interesting that is not hugely intuitive and in fact doesn't make any sense. If you turn your roboports off and put a gun turret down, you can ghost entity. You also need to not have any on you. You can ghost entity ammo into a turret, which means when you have robots or you have logistics port or whatever, then the robots will fulfill that command. If you do exactly that, let's say 25. If you do exactly that and make a blueprint of it, it doesn't actually keep that instruction. Unless for whatever reason, you do all of that again, but from remote view. And I think what you need to do, more importantly, is to make the turret a ghost turret as well. So don't have the turret on you, don't have the ammo on you, so that everything you do is a ghost. Then, when you make a blueprint of that, the ammo is also requested, which lets you, of course, automatically fill a turret with ammo, which was previously the domain of mods. A mod called Fill for Me. This isn't game breaking, really, up until the point where you need to fight demolishers, because the way a demolisher works is that it's completely benign to you. I mean, it will crush you with its feet, but until you either build in its territory or shoot at it. But when you start shooting at it, it emanates shockwaves from its head. So it's extremely easy with this system. And notice here we're still on physical projectile damage 7, to take a whole bunch of ammo, wait until it's going away from you with its tail closest to you, do this, the shockwave won't reach, but the demolisher will be killed. That is, you know, absolutely 100% foolproof. You all saw it, that was extremely easy. So that blueprint is there for you in the utilities blueprint book, along with some other stuff that we've been using. You'll also notice that I've gone around and done this system. One solar panel is not enough to power a radar fully, but it is still enough to just give it a view of its area and very slowly explore chunks. So it's good to just keep an eye on. So I've built them on the corners of our current territory. I'll obviously have to move them as we get going. And this is the tungsten ore patch, and I really don't know what I'm going to do about it. I haven't thought that far ahead, but we may have to... That's not real lava, that's just where we destroyed the... That's not real ground, sorry, that's where we just destroyed the demolisher. We're either going to have to snake our way around the lava, which is doable, it's just irritating. You know, like from here down across through here, I guess. Maybe we'll split one belt up this way and one belt up this way and have it rejoin here and then come all the way around. Oh my god, it's going to be a nightmare. Or could use a train, I suppose. You can't put the elevated rails in the lava, but in theory we should be able to. If we do a rail ramp somewhere around here, I guess there should be enough space to load a quick station, and then... No, you see it's... Oh, no, we might... Yeah, we might just be able to snake it through like this to a bit of space. That's hideous, but probably ultimately cheaper than using all the belts. 8 of these. 8 rail support, steel plate and refined concrete. They're not that expensive, really. The refined concrete is annoying, but it's not prohibitively expensive. Of course, the other thing you could do is you could bring them in via a rocket. You could bring them in via a shuttle. So, you know, there's always that. This is why it's a good idea to get purple and yellow science researched, built on now these before you leave, because if you find yourself in this kind of situation without purple or yellow science, purple science mostly, these are locked behind purple science. Yes, yes, inventory is full, give it a rest. Okay, so with all of that done, you see I've had to double up the power production here, but you know, it's fine. The cliffs are the most annoying part of this. With all of that sorted, we'll leave a backlog of ammo in case we want to clear out. These should all be small ones. This might be a medium one. That's a small one. That's probably still a small one, to be fair. We could clear out a lot of this. I'm not going to, but we could. You've seen how easy it is. And it will only get easier with physical projectile damage upgrades. Like the Demolishers, the evolution of them is nothing. They don't evolve. They just get bigger the further out you go, but then only in 3 stages, small, medium or large. There isn't a gargantuan one, a behemoth one. They just have this amount of health. 100,000 is 100,000 is a lot more. But the small ones are eminently manageable as soon as you land, basically, as long as you've not been ignoring military upgrades, which you shouldn't be because you need them to travel around space. So, okay, let's wrap up this episode by just getting the beginnings of a starter bus in the bag. Here we go. I did actually clear another worm because there's another tungsten ore patch over here, which is... The starter one is very sparse. You can see 460,000, whereas this is 7.2 million, and it'll probably take just as much rail to get over here as this one will. So all I've done is got some basic calcite going. I'm not going to go too overboard with mining calcite because we're going to get advanced miners soon, which are very large, and they also happen to be in charge. Get some molten copper, some molten iron, take the stone down to the lava to get rid of it for now. Eventually I'll start making bricks, and then I'll start making concrete, and then I'll start making refined concrete out of it. Get some heavy oil done with some calcite and some coal, with the new simple coal liquefaction recipe, because we'll need heavy oil, and plugged in the old faithful fluid monitoring system from episode 4, so that's in there. So then I'm busing the molten copper and the molten iron rather than turning them directly into plates. I'll turn them into plates where I need them to be plates, I think, is how I'm going to do it. I didn't do this in my other save file, and I regretted it. I just turned them into plates and then ran the bus of plates, which seems silly given that fluid is, you know, very easy to use. Which reminds me, I should probably put these here. That's why I built them. That's why I'm building a few engines here, just so that I've got some pumps. In fact, that's probably enough of that now. Just use the rest of this. So we'll put steel on the bus, though. I don't know why I'm putting steel on the bus when I just said that I wasn't going to put iron and copper on the bus, but that may change. And then this makes way too many copper cables than you need, but you can't get more than 2 assembly machines to a single foundry making iron plates. A third one would be too much. So I've done a direct insertion method here. I don't suppose there's anything stopping you from just putting iron plates and copper cable like on a mini bus that's part of this, you know. This is how I've done this. This may change, I don't know. I just wanted to get the beginnings of a base sorted, because yeah. So then the heavy oil will go on the bus somewhere, the sulfuric acid will go on the bus. It's going to be a fluid-based bus, mostly, for Fulgora. Vulcanus, wherever we are, wherever the hell we are, I don't know. I've sent the shuttle back to Nauvis just in case I do decide that I want to bring some stuff in. I don't think I will. I think I'll keep it legit for you. Yeah, and that's how one gets started on Vulcanus. That's how I've done it anyway. Obviously you can do it however you like. This is just my suggestion. It's my playthrough. I'll do it how I like. If you enjoyed the video, please let me know with a like or a comment, and if you want to see more broadcasts from Space Age, be sure to subscribe. Other than that, hope you had a wonderful new year. All the best. seems a bit hypocritical of me to sit here on New Year's Eve and say it's an on-holiday and then spend a minute saying all the best, prosperity and good luck, etc, etc, but I will say that to you, even if you don't believe me. I will say it anyway. Have a happy New Year, enjoy the rest of your holidays, hope you've got a bit more time off before going back to work. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.